What's up, Roxstars? It's Rox with a little bit of talk about what's at the top of the blog, so let's get to it. You guys, first story up is a sad one, actually. So last night, or actually yesterday morning when I woke up, I saw that Rihanna had posted about the travesty of Cyntonia Brown. I was not familiar with the case, didn't know anything about the story, but after reading it, my heart broke a little bit for this girl. And then you know how social media works. Once one person posts about it and someone as large as Rihanna, it becomes a viral sensation, and the next thing you know, everybody is posting about it. Pretty much the exact same story. And I will tell you how the story goes. Now, first of all, there is a documentary that is coming out about Cyntonia Brown. This is not a recent case. Actually, the start of this story was back in 2004 when Cyntonia Brown was picked up by a trick. She was a prostitute. She was picked up. She went back to his home to have sex with him, and then we don't know exactly what happened inside of those four walls of that house. However, she shot the man in the back of the head and killed him. She was found guilty for murder, and she was put in jail for life, the rest of her life. So it is a true story. The story is no different than many other girls that are caught up in prostitution, sex trafficking. She had a very turbulent and terrible childhood. And like I said, that case where she shot and killed the man, that happened when she was 16 years old. So the documentary, it follows her life for the past 7 years of them trying to get her case looked at by the parole board and the governor to possibly parole her, because they say that that she was a victim of her own circumstances. Her grandmother even said that she never really had a chance. Okay, started young and stayed in that environment and was never taken out. And you guys know how prostitutes are treated, and they're pimps, they're johns, they beat them, they mentally abuse them, they physically abuse them, and just becomes this cycle where, especially a child, you have absolutely no defenses towards that. So yes, the girl was a victim of her own life, and now she has to pay for it. Some people are saying that it was not fair and that the system had failed her. And yes, I do agree, for sure, the system did fail this girl. This is not a story that is a one-time happening, though. This happens all the time. For some reason, Cyntonia Brown's case has been pulled out of the hundreds of thousands of cases that this happens, and has, the spotlight has been shown. So hopefully something will change as far as the laws are concerned for Cyntonia and possibly get her out of jail. But if it doesn't happen for her, hopefully it will happen for those in the future that are facing the same fate as Cyntonia. They did say that in Tennessee, I believe this is where it happened, there was a law change that children under 18 can't even be charged as prostitutes. I would imagine that even if a child did make the decision to become a prostitute, really they are still their children. They don't know what is best for them, and it needs to be some sort of other resolution to the prostitution and sex trafficking laws in the United States. She did kill someone, so I don't know how the parole board is going to swing on that decision, but hopefully in the future we'll hear less and less of children being affected by grown-ass men and women, because women do it to children as well, that are taken advantage of, put out on the streets, exploited, and lives are ruined. So that is the story about Cyntonia Brown. She is still in jail. We'll see with all of the celebrities that was talking about it yesterday if anybody does help this girl. Time will tell, but that is the story of Cyntonia Brown. Next story up, LaVar Ball. So LaVar Ball was on Don Lemon's show the other night. Don Lemon was not there, so Chris Cuomo was the one that was conducting the interview. Right then I knew that probably was not a good idea, okay, because Don Lemon is able to keep control of his guests, and when people just get way too out of hand, Don Lemon will cut that shit right then and be like, okay, that's enough. I'm not giving you the platform for you to act a fucking fool. Okay, the fact that they had Chris Cuomo interviewing him I already knew that that was going to be mistake number one. Now, I already talked about this case last week, and I think even the week before, when we found out that LiAngelo definitely did go over to China and steal some things, him and two of his classmates at UCLA. And after the Chinese government decided not to press charges, the boys were allowed to come back home to the United States. I thought they were expelled from the school, but you guys explained to me that no, they were not expelled from the school. They were only kicked off of the team, or suspended indefinitely, which means kicked off. And which is very lenient to me, because UCLA, I felt like they had every right to kick those kids out of the school. I mean, you go over to another country, you embarrass yourself, you embarrass this team, you embarrass this school, you embarrass your nation that you come from by doing something so stupid. So the fact that UCLA is letting them kids still stay there, I think that that is a wonderful thing. Does not happen often. The kids apologized, said that they did it, made some bad decisions, you know, and they thanked your president. We thought that that was going to be it. I really don't know what your president be going through. I almost feel like that he sits at home and he just be talking to one of his homeboys on the phone, and they'll be like, well, you know, what's up with the damn daddy? Okay, he always got a whole bunch of shit to say. Why he ain't said thank you for what you did? And, you know, your president be like, you know what, you right. You is right. That nigga need to say something too. So then Donald Trump goes on to tweet how LaVar Ball did not say thank you, and that he doesn't think that Donald Trump's influence helped those boys, and that he should have left them in jail. They was facing 10 years hard time. You guys, I can't even lie. I laughed at the tweet. Only because that Donald Trump is he's so fucking immature and petty and childish. And I knew as soon as he did that was going to pull LaVar out of the quiet, so to speak. You know, LaVar Ball stayed very quiet on this whole situation, which I had already made me feel like he knew that his son had made a mistake and that he was going to try to let it die down. However, LaVar Ball has a huge ego, and he is one of those people who does not back down from a challenge, right, wrong, or indifferent. I knew once Donald Trump said that LaVar Ball was going to give him the reaction that he wanted, Donald Trump wanted. And I said, this is going to be like a train wreck. Look, LaVar Ball is somebody that I like from afar. I admire what he's trying to do for his children. You don't see that too often, especially not in the black community. Someone being so daring and bold to try to make some differences for his family. Or I shouldn't say you don't see that. That's not true. I just like the fact that he's making people take notice that, you know, he believes in his boys as a black father and that he's trying to make it happen for them. But his ways of going about things, his MO, is not always the best way. Even though I know what he's trying to do, you know, sometimes when he gets out and he talks, and I just be like, oh, God. So let's go on to this interviews with Chris Cuomo. I watched a bit of the interview, enough to know this. As much as we don't like Donald Trump, as much as he gets on our nerves, I don't even know if Donald Trump was or was not effective in helping them boys get back to the United States. But the bottom line is, LaVar Ball, your son was in another country stealing, got caught, got arrested, and after some negotiations, they let his ass go. All right. That alone should have made you be a little bit more humble. I'm not saying that you needed to kowtow to your president and crawl up to him on bended knee and thank him for what he did. In my opinion, what the boys did was enough. Donald Trump was just trolling you to get you to come out and make an ass of yourself, for you to be like, I don't know if he did or didn't. Even if you don't know if he did or didn't, why couldn't you just stay silent? Why didn't you just be quiet if you knew that you were not going to thank him? And I don't, like I said, I don't expect him to have to thank him, but it's just like, why do you get out here and say certain things? It's sort of like you are condoning the bad that your son did. You don't even care how your son looks because you are just so intent on trying to get back at Donald Trump, you know. And to me, it's just like, you know, anybody that looked at that interview and thought like, oh yeah, you know what, he told him, no, that's not right. Them boys was wrong. They was stealing. They got caught. They broke the law. You know, so I can't get with LaVar Ball when you were trying to act like it's no big deal that your son did something that really is a big deal. Okay, it was enough to be on the news all over the place. So it was a big deal. I was just like, yeah, LaVar, I'm not going to be able to roll with you on this one. I'm sorry. Them boys did what he did. If you wasn't going to say sorry, then you didn't need to say anything. Okay, made yourself look stupid, in my opinion. Y'all tell me what you think, though, about LaVar Ball. Do you think that he should have conducted that interview, or should he just have ignored Donald Trump? It was a waste of fucking time. A waste of time. And for all the good that he's done for them boys, he just made it seem like he didn't think that it was serious that his son was caught stealing in another fucking country. So that's how I feel on it. Y'all let me know how you feel. You guys, Miss Evelyn, let's talk about this tour that she's going on, where she is telling all of the business of Vincent and Tamar, and the fact that Vincent would beat Tamar's ass to the point where Evelyn thought that she was going to get killed. She's been talking to the Ricky Smiley show. She was just on Sister Circle, and she was explaining incident after incident that Vince had hurt her baby. And now she just feels like it's time to speak out. And on Sister Circle, she gave an example where they were fighting. They were at their elevator in their home. It sounded like the elevator shaft had fallen. That's how much it was such a calamity. She said she rushed out there to see what it was, and he was hitting her. You know, she told him to stop. That's not the way to do things. You know, he wasn't really paying attention to Miss Evelyn. So then she rushed back upstairs to the sleeping baby boy and locked herself behind the door because she was worried for the little boy's safety. Now, I don't expect Miss Evelyn to fight Vincent, especially whenever this might have happened. He probably was a whole lot bigger than Miss Evelyn. But we all gonna side-eye the fact that you got your daughter out there getting her ass beat, let you tell it, and instead of you calling 911, you go and lock yourself behind a door to protect a baby that man wasn't even thinking about down a whole nother floor. His whole sole purpose was to beat Tamar's ass, and here you go locking yourself behind the door. See, listen, I didn't want to ever believe it, and I don't think I do still. But people are saying that Miss Evelyn and the rest of the family ignored a lot of the shit that Vincent did to Tamar because Vincent had the money at the time. Well, Vincent's money is funny right now. We all know he owes, you know, back taxes and shit to Sony and a whole bunch of people, producers and whatnots. So now they're saying that Evelyn is on this tour talking about him because they ain't got shit else to lose. Now he ain't got no more fucking money. And I don't want to believe that. But the more that these stories start to come out, the more you start to wonder, why would you sit up in a fucking house with a man that's beating your daughter's ass and never try to get her out of the situation? I mean, maybe she did try. But I will say that in the stories that she is presenting on all of these different talk shows, it's never making it seem like she's taking responsibility for her own part in the participation by sitting by blindly letting her daughter get her ass beat. I've never once heard her say, you know, one night in the middle of the night, I got Tamar and I said, come on, we're going to get out of here and we're going to take the baby and, you know, we're going to call the police. And I've never heard her say that. It's always been what Vincent has done, what Vincent has done, what Vincent has done. And it's starting to make me, you know, I still don't not believe the story, but it's starting to make me wonder, question the motives of Evelyn. And that's bad because that's her mother. And you would think that as a mother, you would want to protect your child at any cost. Okay. And maybe the way that she's coming out and telling everybody this is a sort of some sort of checking or what is the word that I'm thinking of? It's giving you, I can't think, it was like on the tip of my tongue, but it's making Tamar be responsible for her own life and everybody knowing now. So if you decide to go back to Vincent, then everybody's gonna know that your ass is getting beat by him, and you know, hopefully the humiliation and shame of that enough will keep her from going back. But yeah, I got a side eye for Miss Evelyn because I'm trying to figure out what exactly did you do to try to fix the problem. Don't come telling all of the damn business now. You was sitting up in the house with them. Okay, so I'm going to need her to be a little bit more clear. If she's going to do this tour, then I'm going to need her to be more clear on what she tried to do to fix it. Okay, and not after the fact. And really, if I was her, I would keep my one good eye open because She is telling so much of Vince's, business and Tamar's business. And, he has not responded. He has not said anything. Maybe out of respect for her, but he could sue her. Okay, defamation of character. Okay, he can get some of the hard-hitting homies. I would hope that he didn't. Okay, but he could really, something could happen. You out here, just wilding. So I'm just, oh no, y'all. What do you guys think about it? Y'all understand what I'm saying? No, like, why was you up in the house? There's no way that I'm sitting with my daughter and her husband and Jada's getting her ass beat and I'm just, that's not the way to go, son. No, we're not doing that. I'm getting my fucking daughter. We getting the hell up out of here and I'm going to call the police. And if my daughter decides to keep going back to your ass, all right, I'm not going to be no part of it. I'm not going to live there. I'm not going to watch it and ignore it and then go and lock myself behind the door, child. I know that. I can say that for 100%. Okay, so I done got my dander all up on that one, child. And I ain't never even been in that type of situation. But yeah, don't the story sound, something is up with that. Can't quite figure it out, but I guess she said she gonna tell it and she gonna tell it all. But what was your part, Miss Evelyn? All right, everybody wants me to talk about the Joseline song, Hate Me Now, a diss record to Cardi B. It doesn't even require this much energy. This is exactly what Joseline wanted. Joseline wanted one of two things. She either wanted the attention that a diss record towards a hot rapper at the time could garner, or she is super duper jealous of Cardi B. Okay, I think that it's a little bit of both of those. We all know that Joseline wanted to be the Puerto Rican superstar, okay, and that she was poised to become this rapper, this Latin rapper, and listen, Cardi B is everything that Joseline wanted to be. And I think that there are some issues there with the fact that she was not able to turn her opportunity into all of the positive results that Cardi B was able to turn her opportunity into. All right. So to me, she's always had little jabs at Cardi B. People have ignored them or didn't realize them because Joseline is Joseline and Cardi B is Cardi B. Two different levels, okay? But I've always kind of noticed that Joseline has said little things, kind of making it seem like she was the originator, she was the one that started this whole thing and tried to even imply that Cardi B has stole her style, her swag. No. Because first of all, you have to be somebody big for somebody to steal your swag, okay? If you're not big, not in that field, then as a rapper, then nobody is stealing your swag because you don't even own it yet. It's the same situation with Bianca and Brittany from Love and Hip Hop New York. Like, neither one of you guys are huge, so really you guys going back and forth about who stole what, and it's just like, girl, do you know how many blue-haired rappers are out there right now? Like, no. But the unfortunate part with Joseline and Cardi B is Joseline doesn't realize her own, she always gets in her own way. Joseline has it. Okay, not necessarily as a rapper, but Joseline has that something about her that people gravitate to, and she fucks it up all the time. And that comes into play when you have low self-esteem and you really don't believe in yourself. I mean, you really are trying because you realize that you've had some opportunities, you've been able to make money and all of that, but it's still that little girl deep inside that is affected, that is never able to realize what they have, and even gets uncomfortable with the success and fucks it up. And that's really what Joseline does all the time. She's had so many chances to blow up, and she fucks it up. So I was disappointed that she did that. And then Cardi B, you can start to see that she's starting to be under a lot of pressure and starting to make some get wrapped up in social media and want to respond to everybody. And I was just like, girl, please do not respond to Joseline. She kind of did, but then she sort of tried to pull it back. But the bad thing about social media right now is, if you are a rising star, you are the target. People are coming after you. So Cardi B is in this position where her team so far has been really good of keeping her grounded and keeping her away from all the bullshit. But as more and more time goes on and she gets more and more successes, now she's engaged, she's with Offset, she's got to put on even more stress with that relationship and people coming after their relationship, her career, okay, her life, all of that. I worry about Cardi B, because it's too much pressure for one person. But as far as Joseline is concerned, she shouldn't worry about Joseline, because Joseline, girl, that is nothing that you never need to worry about. I'm sure she knows that, but it's always good to just hear it again. Cardi B is doing her thing. She's on the Forbes 30 under 30 list. That's a list of 30 people in 20 different categories that Forbes, comes up with, that are, quote, challenging the conventional wisdom and rewriting the rules for the next generation. Everybody has their eye on Cardi B right now. All right. Is she A-list? No, but she is definitely going to be there soon enough. So it's just disappointing, because you guys know I like Joseline, but it is hard to cheer on somebody who just really messes themselves up every single time. That song, nobody really paid attention to it. It was hot on the social media just in the fact that everybody was just like, damn, she coming after Cardi like that. But other than that, grand opening, grand closing. Okay, Joseline, girl, stop it. Rely on your talents that you have and stop trying to come after people's neck, especially those that have not done anything to you. Childless JHud separation. You would think that they was married. Okay, so David Ortunga and JHud, Jennifer Hudson, they were together for 10 years, and they were only engaged, and they have decided to call it quits. I was not surprised in the least. That girl did not want to marry that man. He was there for her at a time when she really needed somebody, when her family was killed. And I believe that that's how they ended up together. And then as time has gone on, it just was not in the cards. They had a baby together, so that kind of deepened the relationship and made it even harder to get away from each other, I suppose. Jennifer Hudson was trying to deal with her career, being out of the home, needing somebody to be there with her child. I mean, I'm sure she trusted her fiance with her child the most. So, he was raising the kid. It started to be looking like he didn't do shit else but just kind of, be there for JHud. So then he became a wrestler, even though he had his degree to be a lawyer or something. So it was just like, what are y'all going through? It was a whole bunch of shit. But then all that kind of died down, and then they just had this relationship. But she would always say certain things like, oh, he ain't going nowhere, we don't need to get married now, we got a whole bunch of time. And I was just like, okay, JHud. Well, fast forward 10 years now, they are separated. And the problem is the custody of this child. People are saying that Jennifer Hudson is worried about losing custody of her son, because up until now, David has been the primary caretaker. She's on the road, she's working. Okay, so now she's concerned. So now they're saying that she got what's the order? Order of protection against David for her and her son, trying to keep him away to make it look like he has been this abusive, well, I don't know if it's abusive parent, but saying that she fears him because he was in some movie or something. He left a prop around the house. It was a gun, and he knows that, she's affected by a gun because of what happened to her mother and sister and nephew. So she was upset that he left the gun, and so that was her way of saying that she feels afraid of him and that he was trying to mentally, abuse her, threaten her, or something like that. I mean, could be. All right. But, I got a little bit of the side eye because, girl, you've been leaving the boy with him all these years and ain't been no problems. And now when you guys get a separation, now all of a sudden you are worried about the safety of your child. But, time will tell. We'll see. But there's been rumors of her messing with this kid, this guy, Mally Music, I believe. I don't really know his music, but she was working with him. I think he's a producer. And they say that David had already started to suspect that them two were messing around even before this separation, and now here we are. So I don't know. But yeah, as far as the separation is concerned, I was not surprised. I mean, who the fuck's why, ladies, Roxstars, my young ones out there, especially, even the older ones. Okay, just we here. We not here, but we here. When you've been with somebody that long, you are not going to get married. Now, if you accept the fact that you're not going to get married and it's all good, then you just go on with your life. But if you really want to get married, do not waste your time with somebody for 10 damn years. When that shit is over, it's just over. You don't have anything. And I guess in this case, I'm talking more to David than Jennifer Hudson, because some tell me she gonna be fine. They ain't even got married. I don't even know how the whole if they have a, what's that thing in California where if you've been together 7 years, they just say, damn it, you've been married even if you're not married. They consider that relationship like a marital union, and you guys have to separate like that. I don't know if they do that in Chicago, but it's just like, no, what you got now? You separated, you might not have your baby, you ain't got your woman. Yeah. I didn't think they was getting married anyway. That girl ain't want to marry that man. Alright, you guys, Della Reese died on November 19th in her home in Los Angeles. Most of you guys know her from her role on Touched by an Angel. My parents loved that show, used to watch it all the time. I would go home and remember seeing them just sitting in the kitchen watching it on the little TV on top of the washing machine. But anyway, many of us also remember her as, you know, the foul-mouthed madam in Harlem Nights. We all loved Della Reese. She had a long, successful career as an actress, as a comedian, as a jazz singer, even as a pastor. Della Reese has pretty much done it all. She was 86 years old. Hadn't realized that she was that old, but then I was just like, yeah, I guess that does make sense that she was that old. And I was sad for her, because Della Reese just reminds me of my parents, and just realizing that everybody's getting older and there is a cycle of life for sure. They say that she was 86 years old. She had been married 5 times, so you can imagine the hell that Miss Della Reese had given these men. But she leaves behind her husband, Franklin Lett. He is a concert promoter and producer, they said. So rest in peace to Della Reese. Also rest in peace to Earl Hyman. Okay, he was the father of Cliff Huxtable on The Cosby Show. His name was Russell Huxtable. You guys remember him. He also was the voice of Panthro on the Thundercats. All right, and they say that he did a lot of voiceover work. He had another hit to the black entertainment community. He had a vivid career both on television and on Broadway, and they say that he was inducted to the Theater Hall of Fame in 1997. I'm not sure if was married or if he even had children. The article that I read trying to read up on his life said that he leaves behind many nieces and nephews. I didn't even know that he was still alive. He was old on The Cosby Show. I think they said that he was 90. Oh gosh, was it? I want to say 96, but it may be 91. I'm not sure how he died. I actually don't even know how Della Reese died. But rest in peace to Earl Hyman. And then also, I guess I shouldn't really put this in this section because we don't really know for sure. But, you know, there was a story out that Aretha Franklin was kind of about to die, that she was in the hospital, that people were paying their, you know, their last regards, going to visit her for the last time, that she had some form of cancer. Then it came out that no, that is not true, that she is perfectly fine. I don't even know if she does or doesn't have cancer. So it's two very conflicting stories. Sounds like Aretha Franklin probably is sick and she's trying to preserve her privacy. Okay, that's the bad thing about being a celebrity and then social media. You are trying to fight this battle of whatever your health issues are, and then people want to be, you know, in such a hurry to put the story out there first. They take they have no regard for your family, people that may not have known, you know, what you were going through personally. And so they put the story out there, and then all of a sudden it's just like this huge, you know, everybody is all worried about you when you necessarily didn't want that. People should have the right to not have to deal with people checking up on their sickness when they didn't want you to know it anyway. So that is the problem that I have with some of these blogs that do these things. I don't think it's fair, and I don't think that they really try to take into consideration. This is not a story that has to be put out there. It's nothing salacious about it. It's nothing that, you know, that's some good tea. You were talking about somebody that possibly may be dying. okay, and putting their story out there with no concern for their privacy or well-being. So I don't really know what's going on with Aretha, but I think it's obvious that she's sick. She has looked sick for some time. So I'm just going to say, hopefully you get better soon, Riri. Okay, we pulling for you. And then lastly, in quickies, you guys, Phaedra, your girl Phaedra Parks, the reality show star and the mortician can now add model to her resume. That's right, you guys. She announced yesterday that Wilhelmina Modeling Agency has signed her on as a client. I was just like, okay. They're saying that the Wilhelmina Modeling Agency wants to go in a direction after the underserved market. Okay, so I guess that would be black women who are very shapely, around 5 feet tall. She hopes to empower women, she says. And a dream campaign of hers would be to model for a skincare company. She has great skin, and she just wants to be out there and just do things that furthers her career. And she's also a lawyer, you guys remember. So yeah, Phaedra is a jack of all trades, and hey, no hate there. If you can get some more work any way you can, girl, make your money. Okay, so congratulations to new model Phaedra Parks. 76-year-old Jesse Jackson has announced that he has Parkinson's disease. He said that he noticed the onset of the disease some years ago, and he was not all that surprised considering that his father had it as well, so it has been passed down to him. And now he realizes that he has to make some lifestyle changes, okay? But it is not going to change his fight for the cause of the black people. He is still committed to that. He'll be going about life a different way. However, Jesse Jackson still intends to fight the good fight for all y'all out there. And lastly, congratulations to Swiss Beats. He graduated from Harvard Business School. Saw the pictures, the videos of him and his wife and his family, and nothing but good things to say about Swiss Beats. Somebody who is from where is he from, y'all? Is he from the Bronx? He said it, he had it on the back of his suit. Wherever he's from in New York, all the way making it up to Harvard Business School. I'm sure his celebrity did help a little bit, but yeah, still, congratulations are in order to Swiss Beats. You guys, so tomorrow is Thanksgiving, so I want to say happy Thanksgiving to all the rock stars out there. People want to know what I'm thankful for. I'm thankful to be able to wake up every single morning with breath in my lungs, okay, and in good health. I'm thankful for my family. I'm thankful for my friends. I'm thankful for my life. It's been a interesting 2017. However, you guys have hung in there with me on YouTube, so I'm thankful for all of the rock stars, and I think you guys know that. You guys treat me well. We mutually respect each other, and yeah, it's a good thing here. Even with all the shit that goes on YouTube, I'm always inclined to come back because at the end of the day, you guys are the ones that are there watching me. So I really do appreciate you all. You guys tell me what you are thankful for. We take shit for granted every single day, and I think Thanksgiving is a perfect time to remember exactly why we should be thankful for the things that we have. But that's it, you guys. Let me get off of here. It is the morning, so I'm trying to get all this shit done because the second half of Wednesday, Thanksgiving Eve, I'm going to be trying to prepare food for my family tomorrow. All right. So let me get off of here. We do this every single week. Make sure that you rate, comment, and subscribe, and make sure you come back. Until next time, rock stars. Bye.